So what did we actually just do? Well, we want a way for users to look at items in the menu and add them to an order. But we also want their ordered items to appear somewhere else in the app. Environment objects are SwiftUI's way of sharing data across many places, but by themselves, they aren't a complete solution because it'd be easy for different parts of our UI to show different things based on when they loaded. That's where the Observable Object Protocol comes in. We've given our order class the ability to announce that it's changed, and we can now make SwiftUI watch those announcements and reload its UI. In our scene delegate, we just made our order instance upfront when the app launches, and then we injected it into the environment down here using environment object on our content view. As a result, any view that comes from content view can read that order back out and manipulate it somehow. Here we want to add items to our order from the details screen. So I'll head back to item detail.swift, and above our item property, I'm going to add our environment object. I'll say at environment object var order is an order, like that. Now we haven't given that a default value, so you might think it will cause problems thanks to Swift's strict initialization rules. However, the at environment object property wrapper, this thing here, does some magic on our behalf. It allows this variable not to have a value in code because we're saying it'll already be set in the environment. When this view is shown, SwiftUI will automatically look in its list of environment objects for something that's of type order and attach it to that property. If no order object can be found, then we've got a problem. Something we said would exist does not, and our code will crash. This is just like an implicitly unwrapped optional, so please be careful with it. At environment object is another property wrapper, just like at published. They were introduced in Swift 5.1 and allow us to control the way properties are read and written. This one comes from SwiftUI and means we get the automatic attachment ability I just mentioned, but also tells SwiftUI to watch the object for any changes and refresh its UI when a change announcement comes through. Before we add some code to manipulate the order, we need to fix another previewing problem. You see, if I press resume now, this thing will start to compile, but it won't work correctly. Boom. It cannot preview this file. iDine may have crashed. You see, we're now promising this thing will have an order passed in using the environment. It means by the time item details are actually shown, we definitely have an order in there ready to use. So we create and pass that in from our scene delegate. That'll work great when our app is running for real, but here in the Xcode preview, we aren't launched from the scene delegate. We're created down here in our preview provider. This thing has no order being put into the environment. So we've got to put that into the environment in order to get our previews to work again. Now this whole code down here will only be used when we're in debug mode, when we're building from Xcode, as opposed to building for the App Store. This means that safe put code in there only relates to our previews, which in this case will be a temporary order instance so everything works correctly. So I'll say, inside the struct, static let order is a new order. And here on line 39, use the same .environment object modifier to pass that order into the item detail like that. That replicates the same setup we have with our scene delegate, which means our preview should now work again. Awesome. Now that works, we can get on with the real deal, adding a button that adds our current menu item to the order. Buttons in SwiftUI have two parts, a title string and an action closure that contains the code to run when the button's tapped. Our order class already has an add method that takes a menu item, so we'll use that for the action. As for the text for the button, we'll just say order this. You're welcome to add more styling if you want. So in our item detail, we have a Z stack here, some text here for the description, and before the spacer, I'll add our button. We'll say button order this, and for its action closure, I'll say self.order.add item self.item. I'll use .font.headline for the button that's got a nice bold font. Boom, order this. That's all it takes to add things to the shared order, but we can't actually see anything yet. To make that happen, we need to create a new screen that shows the user's order so far, then put that into a tab bar with our existing content view. So press Command N to make a new SwiftUI view. calling this thing order view. Because this thing has to have the same order instance as the rest of our app, we'll give it the same property we had before in item detail. Down here, we'll say at environment object, var order is an order, like that. As well as similar code in its preview to make sure that works too. So down here, we'll say static let order equals a new order, then create our order view, passing in environment object of that order. Boom. As for the body of our order view, this is all stuff you know already. A list view to give us a scrolling table, some section blocks to split up the information, a for each and a h stack showing an array of order items, displaying both the name and price of each item, a second section at the end showing a navigation link to place the order, a navigation bar title saying order, plus grouped styling for the table. So in code, I'll replace this text here with a navigation view. Inside there is our list. Inside there is a section. Then we'll do a for each over all the items in our order, doing item in. For each row in there, I'll say there's a h stack. And I'll use text item.name, then a spacer, then text. And I'll use a $, and then string interpolation, item.price, like that. Then after the section, there's a second section, section of, scroll down slightly, section of a navigation link with a destination of text checkout, enough for now. And there is the text place order, like that. And then just here at the end of the list, I'll say the navigation bar title is order, like that. And the list style is grouped list style, like that. Boom. We're going to come back to this code shortly, but hopefully for now it's good enough. I'll just press resume, see how it looks on the screen, and it should look good. Awesome.